Hi, I'm Paris, and in my younger and poorer days, I had maybe $500 I could spend to buy a car. So I would buy a fixer-upper and then go out and get the Chilton repair guide, and with that in hand, fix the car up and keep it running as long as it would last. Then it was on to my next $500 project. I even have a photo here of a very greasy me, but very thin, with my brother standing inside the engine compartment of, I think, a 1970 Ambassador that I was changing out the timing chain on. Well, about the time I could afford to buy a car that I didn't have to repair before I could drive it, computers were being put in cars, and with that, it made it much harder to do the DIY kind of repairs that I was used to doing. You needed to have the special equipment that could talk to the computers in the car to know what they were doing, if they were working correctly, what they were measuring, so you could adjust everything else. So that was pretty much the end of my days as a mechanic, though the skills I learned have come in handy since. But now it's gotten to the point that the readers that talk to the computers in the car have gotten so inexpensive and so easy to use that if you're so inclined, you can buy one, plug it into a port in your car, find out the information about what's going on with your car, if it's misbehaving, or if you have the little light on the dashboard telling you something needs to be checked out. You can get that information yourself, and it's not something too involved. You can actually do the repair, replace the part without having to go to the mechanic. So there's no going back. We can't take the computers out of the cars. They make them run much better, much more fuel efficient, much more reliably, and they pollute much less. So if you can't beat a computer, you've got to fight it with a computer. And this handy little device here was sent to me by a company called Launch, and this plugs in under the dash of your car. It's supposed to be very easy to use. It will work with most models of cars made after 1996. And it will tell you what the mysterious little light is. It'll interpret the codes for you. And it can even analyze how your car is running. So if something seems a little off, but you don't have any light on the dashboard, this may be able to let you know what's going wrong.
EpicReviewGuys.
The AiOBD onboard diagnostic. There's not a whole lot you can do with this other than plug it into your car. It's powered this way, and inside it's programmed with information about all the different models of cars. So whether your car is 2 years old or 20 years old, you should be able to find out all kinds of information about what's going on under the hood. This goes for about $35, and you can find out more about it at the link down below this video. It just so happens that our 2012 Honda minivan is in the shop right now for its 100,000 mile service, which turns out includes changing out the timing belt. And it's expensive because, as I know from doing the timing chain, you have to take off most of the stuff on the front of the engine. When the technician there told me the price for replacing the timing belt, I thought to myself at first, I wonder if I could still do that. But then I heard this voice in the back of my head. Sounded sort of like my wife saying, "Don't break the minivan," so gave them the minivan to fix. But I do have two cars at my disposal to try this out on. One is a brand new 2018 Honda Accord. That's the loaner car they gave me at the shop. So I'm going to try this out on that car right now, and it should show everything is perfect. It's a brand new car with, I think, 3,000 miles. However, my wife's commuter car is an 06 Accord with 240,000 something miles, and it's had a light on the dashboard for a while, which I have heard what someone else thinks it is, but I'm going to find out today what it really is. So the first thing to do is to find the OBD port underneath the dash of your car on this brand new Honda Accord. Oh, I'm upside down here. It is this port right here. And this is what gets plugged into that port. They do say to start the car first, so I'll do that and plug this in. Well, that was easy. It came up and said scanning for a few seconds and brought me to this screen. I hit OK and was taken to this diagnostic menu screen. There are 9 different things I can select. How about onboard monitoring? Catalytic converter, I'm guessing. It does say it passes. That's good in a new car. There's freeze frame, or is this related to what we have in the audio memory? What data stream is. So this is a lifetime representation of information. Looks like fuel system load. There's an RPM. That looks about right, 700 RPM. Then there's a graphic mode of that information. I'm trying to load that here. Graph of the RPM. It's showing me within this particular range what it is. Erase codes is when you want that little light on the dashboard to go away. But before erasing them, it would be good to read them and find out what's going on with your car. And as I said, this is a brand new car, so there are no fault codes. No lights on the dash. And here in the old 06 Honda Accord, we've got the plug in about the same spot. And here's the device starting up in the 06 Accord. Notice that first number here, DTCs, that's the faults, and it did find one, and sure enough, we do have the check engine light on the dash. So up, diagnose, read codes. Looks like there are two of them. Catalytic system efficiency below threshold. That's not good because when your catalytic converter goes out, I know that's expensive to replace. And the next one, same deal. So the DTC code is P0420. They're both the same. So now let me look that up. Now if I wanted to, I could go to erase code, and looking at Google, there are lots of possible causes for the catalytic converter issues. Number one, where it says here the common one is that the catalytic converter itself is bad, but there's a chance it's the oxygen sensors or something less expensive. So not the best news that it's related to the catalytic converter. If it turns out to be an oxygen sensor, $100 piece to replace, sure, go ahead and let them do that. But if it's the catalytic converter, it's going to be $1,500. I don't think so. The car is worth less than $1,000. Pretty much planning on replacing it in the next few months, just holding on to it with the thought that my daughter should learn to drive using that old model car rather than a brand new one that we'll be replacing it with. But it's good to know in advance, both because I can be mentally prepared for what the mechanic might say and the prices that might come up. Plus, we can have, as a family, had a chance to discuss things, so it's not a spur of the moment, standing there with a mechanic, well, do you want us to do the work? Do you not want us to do the work? You can go in prepared for what they're going to say because you already have a pretty good idea. Thanks again to Launch for sending me their latest OBD reader to try out. You can find out more about it at the link down below this video. I'm going to go ponder now the fate of our old car, and I'll see you on the next review.
Epic